And welcome to episode 1 of FRUA Designs number 4, The Realm, the Southlands campaign, Sinister Secret of Saltmarsh. We're about to run, let's get right into it. Awesome music. The Sinister Secret of Saltmarsh. Let the adventure begin. Alright, I've transferred my characters over, so let's go ahead and hit play. Let's add them. We've got Cyrus, Gingy, Tessa, Carlo, Griselda, and Amanda. Everyone, if we view, say, Cyrus, he's got everything we bought for him, plus the robe and the ring that he picked up. We're gonna have to get that appraised. And let's hit B and get into it. Welcome to the realm. Game 27. The definitive UA conversion of the first adventure in Dungeon Module U, The Sinister Secret of Saltmarsh. You have come to the Southlands region of the realm, where the vast swamp, known elsewhere as Blackweed Swamp, provides a natural buffer against the humanoid horrors of the Eastlands. Still, the people who dwell in the South are far from complacent. Where humanoids fail to tread, the evils of man rise to fill the vacuum. Worse, the Southlands are often stirred by more ancient evils. Vague rumors tell of worthy work for adventurers in this neighborhood, and so you have come to the port town of Saltmarsh. Salt hangs in the air where so near to the great river. From what you see and have heard, the town is a small, respectable fishing town. The inhabitants are relatively sober, hardworking, and amiable. There are adequate facilities for justice and law enforcement. Debtors and bankrupts are dealt with particularly harshly. Fishing is the main industry, but there are some tiny farms in the neighboring countryside. The town boasts a small weekly market to which traders are attracted from two larger towns, Burrell and Seaton, each some 20 miles away, beyond the borders of the Southlands. The rumors you heard range from a council decree concerning a haunted cemetery to the imminent invasion of a horde of seafaring hobgoblins. Even without a reliable story, there is no doubt that adventure lies here. Looking about, though, you see that the town of Saltmarsh is home to a proud folk. It may not be easy to find out what it is that these people need from you, but you have found adventure in less likely places. It is nearly evening. Ahead, the town market is beginning to close up for the night. You step into the crowded market square of Saltmarsh. During the day, this place is full of people and merchants peddling their wares. The shopkeepers stand or sit outside their shops and homes, items on display. Okay, let's get Gingy leading the way. Here, Master Braun, the town's leatherworker, places the finishing touches on items nearly completed the night before. His finely crafted goods are held prominently on display around the door to his shop. May I help you? Can we appraise? No gems or jewelry. Let's look at Cyrus. View. He picks up a robe and a ring. Can we ID the ring? Let me see that ring, yes. Looks like a ring of invisibility. What about the robe? I can't tell anything new about the robe. I'm not sure what a ring of invisibility does. I guess it just makes you invisible. Alright, so let's see what we can buy from him. Sling, whip, belts, boots, gloves, leather armor. A man hawks good, crying out his worked wooden wares to everyone who passes him by. You look over what is placed on his cart. May I help you? Be right back. Okay, as we see here, composite longbow is fighter only, not thief. Composite short bow is thief, and longbow is fighter only. Short bow is thief. Alright, so let's see who can use the arrows. Carlo has 12 arrows left. So he can buy 20 arrows are only 20 gold. That is a steal. Buy 20, buy 20, buy 20, buy 20. Zelda has 6 darts left, so let's buy some darts for him. Actually, Griselda's the thief. Ranger is a fighter. So Carlo can use a composite longbow, whereas Griselda is forced to use short bow. So let's not buy darts. Can he use a light or heavy crossbow? I don't see any bolts though. Let's have Carlo pull some money and take 100 and buy a composite longbow. And the short bow he can trade to Griselda, who then takes the short bow and puts it on and trades the darts to Amanda. So let's buy more arrows with him. Let's have Amanda buy more darts. Cool. So let's share the money and exit. Goody Maggie and her little magpie sit before the seamstress stop, sewing details onto clothing to suit the desires of their patronage. Their well-spun robes and cloaks hang on racks before their home. May I help you? Nothing too interesting there. Can we go into the home? No. At night, the village market is deserted. A cool wind blows in off the river, whistling through the empty streets. All doors are shut and securely locked. I want to save. Is our magic not memorized? Okay. And 2 sleep spells. Okay. As the sun descends, the hard-working folk of Saltmarsh head indoors for the night. Doors shut and bolt all along the market street, though at the pub the evening is just getting underway. Okay, where's the pub? This sturdy construction shows a six-pointed star on the sign above the door. A similar emblem has been engraved in the wood of the door itself. That is not what we're looking for. To the north, twin oaken doors lead into the long council hall. This small cottage stands by the waterside and it reeks of fish. An elderly fisherman meets you at the door. He looks at you quizzically before shrugging and offering you a drink from the flask he holds. After several minutes of conversation, he sees you to the door. You see caskets on display around this entrance to the building, which boasts neither an open nor a closed sign. The smell of fish and seagoing equipment emanates from this tightly locked warehouse. Light filters through cracks in the door, telling of the lone night watchman's lantern. This large stone construction has a carefully engraved granite slate mounted near the door, proclaiming this the Dwarven Stonemasons Guild. The Salty Dog Inn, there we go. You turn to look in the spacious common room of the Inn of Saltmarsh. Several tables sit about with sailors and merchants discussing in quiet tones. Your appearance at the door gains only measured glances. The innkeeper, Master Confer, states that his rooms are comfortably priced at 1 piece of gold for your entire band of friends and come with complimentary breakfast. Do you rent a room? Yes. Who pays the gold coin? Amanda. Master Confer hands you a key engraved with a large 1. This door bears a stone numeral 1 near its center, about 3/4 of the way to the top. Master Confer's rooms are warm and pleasant. You sleep comfortably in a bed with a plump pillow. Let's make sure everyone spells are memorized, and let's rest. Okay, we've got our spells memorized. That's the inn. Where's the pub? This tightly locked warehouse. The Salty Dog Inn. You stand before the most holy order of Saltmarsh. The doors to this edifice never close. You step into the sprawling sanctuary of the most holy order. To your left and right, flights of steps curve upward to the choir loft. A brown-robed priest hurries to greet you. The priest offers the healing power of prayer, though his eyes stray to the donations box as he speaks to you. How may the Holy Father aid you? Additionally, for 50 pieces of gold, Father Rickley will meet with clerics and paladins to discuss further enlightenment. Does the party want to train? No, Before leaving, you ask Father whether he can direct some aspiring adventurers in the right direction. The priest backs away a step, looking left and right as he wrings his hands. Well, no, not really, I'm afraid. There isn't much work in this area for people looking for your kind of work. Perhaps you should look farther east? Long council hall. The council hall is empty and holds the stillness characteristic of an empty building. Where's this pub? Here's the Dwarven Stonemasons Guild. You are met by Iron Nose the Dwarf. He seems to be in a bit of a hurry, but he stops to give you an explanation of his services. My team and I will build anything with stone, and will finish most within the first 3 months. Dwarven construction, not the crumbling sort of junk you see most places. Your kids could live there. Now, if you'll excuse me, I really must be going. Iron Nose pushes you through the door and runs off into the night. Empty warehouse. On the sign over this door, a fish rolls on its back, spewing bubbling liquid from a spout to a fine wine goblin. Here we are. A comely barmaid takes your orders for drinks and boxes your coins in exchange. Talk. A woman at the bar sniffs in indignation before glowering and saying to you, Watch out for Iron Nose the Dwarf. He's always out night chasing some lady in a hooded robe. Acts all secretive, as if no one knows what he's up to. First he wore the red robe, and now he's after one in a purple robe. He thinks he's so clever with his promises. No decency in that one. She goes back to her tankard of ale, still muttering but speaking too softly for you to hear. A comely barmaid takes... Okay, talk. An elderly fisherman sulks at the bar. When he notices your attention, he smiles wearily and raises his flask in your direction. Fish ain't biting. The fishmonger rests at a table talking to some of his companions. You overhear. And so old Jimmy's father is laying there among all his family, and they're all a teary for his death. And then the chain holding the old man slips away, and those arthritic joints just lock up. And up sits old Jimmy's pa, just like his first morning all over again. Gales of laughter roll through the group around him. One man, laughing a bit less than the others, looks about concernedly for Master Jimmy. A man with a proud air looks at you with somber eyes. His cheeks are heavily lined, and he carries himself with severity. You're an adventurer, eh? Well, you may do well to look into the disappearance of the butcher. He's been missing some 3 days now, and I'd be more than a little stunned to see him coming home. Not after the noise I heard from his old shop a few nights back. A woman approaches you as you finish a plate of broiled slatefish. I heard you talking to Cordis. Thought I'd warn you against breaking into the butcher's home. You see, I happen to know that old Kristoff has been gone to visit his family in Hamlet. Have a care, adventurer. The law often frowns on your kind, and with good reason. The woman smiles, takes a bit of cheese from Amanda's plate, and walks away from the bar. A woman looks at you appraisingly, taking in your weapons and appearance. Travelers, listen. Be wary of the priest at the temple. He talks good, but his eyes straight to the donation box a bit too often. You're looking for adventure. You're looking for the seedy underside of the town. Listen to this and take it for what it's worth. Iron Nose the Dwarf, the stonemason what put up the new walls around the town, is up to something. Mark my words. Nightly I've spotted him by the docks with a woman in a robe of the finest purple. A dwarf with a human woman in such finery. Nothing but ill can come of that. Talk. You look like the adventurous sort. Have you heard of the wizard in Hamlet? He trains those who petition if they're worthy. Stop on my stand next morning. You may find something to make your time in Saltmarsh easier. You meet an aged poacher who talks to you about your adventures in the area. The more he hears, the more excited he gets. He seems to want to tell you something. When you buy him an ale, he tells you about something that happened a few years ago. 'Twas at the old alchemist house, the one outside of town. I made my way inside a few years back in hopes of finding some food left behind by the previous owner. I figured I'd take a look down in the wine cellar. All that free wine warn't to be passed up. by a sane man, you know? But if it didn't take no more than 2 steps before I heard the shrieks from down below. Sounded like all hell broke loose down there. I heard them women and children all screaming at once. God, 'twas the worst thing I ever did hear. More ale. You watch him down another mug of ale. By the way his hand shakes and the look in his eye, you somehow believe that he is telling you the truth. Something in that house scared him terribly that night. I saw him down there, the ghosts of the mothers and the children they was trying to haul up out of the fires. 'Twas a nightmare in the flesh, and the vampire staring out over the whole mess with all his rats. The man continues to embellish until you finally stop buying him more ale. With a shrug, he turns and staggers away from the bar. One of your friends shakes his head. I think I believe him, but if he's wrong, we could spend our lives on the run from the law. We can't just break into a house on the outskirts of town, but from the sound of things, we just might get sanctioning to go in. The only question is, who do we have to talk to in order to get permission to investigate the old alchemist house? Villagers drink steadily and nod to you from time to time. None are too interested in speaking to you, especially not once they learn that you have come to their town looking for adventure. Alright, we've got some leads. What is this place? Small cottage stands by the waterside and it reeks of fish. Warehouse. Who would we have to get permission from? The Most Holy Order? Throw it out of Saltmarsh. Do you continue? No. Not until we get an idea of who to talk to. Okay, caskets around this place. Let's see. You are met at the door by a somber-faced man with sallow features. Greetings, travelers. I am John Long, the Undertaker. I trust you will return to me if you need my services further. With the faintest hint of a smile, Master Long retreats into the shadows of his home and you leave. Small fishing craft float at the base of this pier, lashed tight by their moorings. This pier is usually mostly for the fishing craft of the townsfolk. Looking out of the river, you see a number of tiny sailed crafts holding 2 or 3 fishermen drawing their living from the water. As the sun rises over Saltmarsh, the voices of the village goodwives break the stillness. Where minutes ago there were only merchants setting up for the day, now there is the babble of the first hawkers pawning their wares. I missed my chance to find Iron Nose. Here, Master Brown. Okay. Is he the one who said it may be easier? No. No. Here stands a young man with a rack of fish for sale. You glance over his wares and purchase a plump dinner for a handful of coppers. Oops. Fishmonger calls out his prices as you make your way through the market. Master Jemmy, the Blackstone, renowned far as way at the county of Eeyore, hammers at his forge before the smithy. He has some items on display, including horseshoes, trinkets for the children, and an assortment of weapons. May I help you? Would be a good idea to buy either chainmail or ringmail here. Let's see who needs it. What have you got? Leather armor. You're a cleric fighter. So you take 100. Let's take a look at the difference between ringmail and chainmail. Ringmail weighs 250, AC of 7, move 9 squares. Chainmail weighs 300, has an AC of 5, and move 9 squares. Okay, so we definitely want the chainmail. Even though it's cheaper. That's interesting. Does this module go by the same stats that's in the book? I wonder. Let's buy the chainmail and find out. And the leather armor is an AC of 8, so the chainmail should improve it by 3. His AC is 6, so it should go down to 3. It does go down to 3. Excellent. So it's cheaper, but it's more effective. Alright, let's get... Gingy has leather armor. Let's get him. Gold. To my chainmail. Let's sell the leather armor for 7 platinum pieces. And Cyrus can sell the leather armor. And what's this ring of invisibility? Sell the robe. I'm not sure if that robe was enchanted. It came from the crone. Might have just been a regular robe. I'll have to look that up. And Tessa, take 100 and buy the chainmail. And also buy the bracers for see what their deal is. so her AC went down 2 from the studded leather. We can trade that to Carlo. Her thought goes 18, her armor class is 1. Thought goes 18, her armor class is 1. I see no change with the bracers. Okay, put on the studded leather. He's a ranger though. Can he still use chainmail? Ranger, any armor, okay. He doesn't really need chainmail because he's a ranger, so he's fine with that, but Griselda could use studded leather at least. Alright, we're pretty well decked out. Share the money. Stonemasons Guild. The door to the stonemason office is locked securely. No sound can be heard from within. Is there something I'm missing? I don't want to leave Saltmarsh. The Most Holy Order. Long Council Hall. Ah, 6-pointed star. This is where we want to be. You are met by a stern-eyed man clad in leathers. A long, thin club hangs from a loop at his side, and a stiletto is tucked in his boot. Hello, boys. My name is Roland. I'm the constable around here. Saltmarsh is generally a quiet town. I'm proud of the way most folk know to behave once they pass through those new gates of ours. Wait a minute. Meets you at the door once again. Behind him, a tall, unshaven man sulks in the town's jail cell. The constable nods to you and exchanges pleasantries, then sees you out. So he doesn't give us permission to look into the alchemist's house. Alright, let's go check it out anyway. Let's encamp and save. Okay, maybe this isn't. Looking about, though, there's a bit of logo lore that may interest you. The village of Hamlet has grown up around a crossroads in a woodland once far from any important activity. It became embroiled in the struggle between gods of demons when the Temple of Elemental Evil arose. Luckily for its inhabitants, the temple and its evil hordes were destroyed a decade ago, but Hamlet still suffers from incursions of bandits and strange monsters. Yeah, that's not what we're looking for. Where is the alchemist's house? Caskets. Reeks of fish. Back again, eh? What the devil? Fish ain't biting. Anyway, have another drink and tell me about the county of Eeyore. After a few minutes of interesting conversation, the old fisherman sees you out. Crew's work on unloading the cargo in the latest southern ship to arrive in town. Heavily armed guards watch you warily as you approach the dock. In scrolling letters, the sign above this door reads Port Authority. Gabe, the portly manager of the town docking authority, hustles to meet you. Every now and then we have ships come upriver, but those are merchants, and they generally come and go with guards that they trust. Not much work for you there. No, but then the likes of you probably wouldn't be satisfied watching over some fat Burlese merchant, would you? No, for you it ought to be nothing less than the Isle of Dread. Good luck finding a ship captain that will take you there for any amount of money, though. Gabe shakes his head and watches you inspect his displayed maps and southern trinkets. Alright, I'm thoroughly confused. Where's this alchemist's house? Oh, it's dark now. Let's go check the docks. Whoops. Let's search the docks. The town begins trailing you, tapping their clubs against the palms of their hands unhappily. Okay, so searching is not liked here. I was looking in all those spots so much for hook nose or iron nose. Fish definitely ain't biting. Before I do this, let's save. It's blocked. We can't pick it or bash it. Fishmonger, Master Jimmy, Goody Maggie, Wooden Wares, I'm just looking at each square without actually searching. Because I am stumped. Let's have an ale. 6 heady males mugs slide across the bar. Did I miss a cue or something? It said it wasn't going to be easy. I feel like we have to get in this warehouse. There is definitely some credence to the story you heard about the house. Now, I doubt it's a portal to the underworld, as they say, but you may do us all a service by looking into it. But you don't want to go off without sanction by the council. I'll arrange for Lord Whittingham to meet you tonight. Meet him in the council hall after sundown. I'm sure he'd be interested in meeting you. Never give up. Okay, so the council hall. It's over here. Right here. But that is going to do it for today's episode. So, good place to end it. In the next one, we enter the council hall and find out what the heck is going on in this village. So stay tuned for that. A lot of fun, man. I'm loving it. See you next time. Bye-bye.